Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Mr. Kadim Khan and I am a lecturer in the Institute of Computing, Guwahati University of Science and Technology. Today we will take lecture number 14 of the subject of software quality engineering, in which we are going to discuss software process improvement for quality. Dear students, as we know that the software process models are used for the software development, and they have a vital role for achieving the best quality software development. So here in this lecture we will discuss different software process improvement methodologies which will improve the development phase of the software engineering. This is the discussion agenda. It contains topics of software process improvement for quality, frameworks and methodologies, capability maturity model, what is CMMI, how can CMMI help us for improvement of the software process, CMMI models within the frameworks, CMMI stage representation which have 5 different maturity levels and the behavior at different 5 levels. And then we will discuss ISO 9000 certifications and general introduction about the ISO 9000. Then we will discuss the growth of ISO 9000. That means that how much ISO 9000 has been adopted. And then at the end we have the book references from which will be very much useful for you to study these topics. Now software process improvement. Software process improvement is a particular art, and also it is assigned for changing the organizational process which helps to develop the better softwares. Basically, software process improvements is a particular methodology or a framework which helps an organization to achieve high quality software development. So software process improvement always involves looking at the big picture. The big picture means that here we will see that how a software process plays a vital and key role for development of the high quality project. That means that how a particular software process will be followed for each project which help us to improve the quality of the software development. Now also it involves looking at entire projects and then identifying the areas that can be improved. So for the improvement of a particular area, software process improvement for quality is basically used. Now the frameworks and methodologies. There are many frameworks and many methodologies. The frameworks is different than the methodologies. Basically, frameworks provides us the guidelines that how the software should be improved, software process should be improved, while methodologies gives us a step-by-step techniques to develop the software. Now, models and certifications help us for the achieving the organizational process, and it also serves as a framework for achieving the process. Basically, the frameworks are used for improving the software process. Now we have CMMI, ISO 9000 and Six Sigma. These are called the frameworks. While there are certain methodologies, the methodologies have different phases and different steps. These methodologies help an organization to describe the full software development into multiple set of the activities, and also it defines the roles. The roles means that how much and how different peoples are involved for development of the software, and work products needed to build the software. The work products here means that different techniques and different technologies that are used for the development of the software. Here, rational unified process and extreme programming are the different examples of the methodologies. So methodologies are composed of different phases and different steps which are used to achieve the software development. Here we have a framework called the capability maturity model. Basically, CMM, which is the classical frameworks, it defines different characteristics of a mature capable processes in that way that can be measured and compared to a process in other organization. So CMM can be properly mature and can be measured, and also it can be analyzed. So CMM consists of the areas which help us for the improvement of the software development, and also it gives us the best goals which means to define the areas which will be helpful for the implementation of the software. So CMM gives us the best practices to be implemented for software development. A software engineering process group, that is a group which develop the CMMI within the organization, which identify different problems and inefficiencies, and also it defines the practices to address them. So there must be software engineering process group within all the organization which identify different flaws and different areas which lacks the standards, and these standards should be implemented in that particular area. So independent assessors should be employed which verifies that organization is in the compliance with the CMMI practices. Now, the most advanced version of the CMM is called CMMI. CMMI stands for this capability maturity model of integration, and it is an proven framework which improves the best quality and develop the efficiency for both the software and hardware. So CMMI gives us the guidelines which helps to develop this particular hardware which will be used for the particular project for the software. Basically, CMMI is sponsored by US Department of Defense, and it is the cooperated with the Carnegie Mellon University and also with the Software Engineering Institute SEI. So these are different institutes which helps to different organization for adoption of CMMI. Many companies have already adopted CMMI, such as the Motorola and Ericsson. So Motorola and Ericsson are both hardware and software development organizations, and these organizations have already adopted CMMI. CMMI establishes a model to improve business results. For example, if somebody wants to improve their business, then CMMI gives us good guidelines for the business improvement. CMMI have 5 levels, and these are stage levels. Stage means the input for one levels is the output for the other. So CMMI uses the stage levels to describe the maturity of organization, and as the same as like the predecessor CMM. So CMMI is the vastly improved version of the CMM. Also, it emphasizes on the business needs integration and institutionalization. Now, how a CMMI can help us to improve the software quality? So, how CMMI help us to improve the software quality? Basically, CMMI provides a different ways to focus on the software development process model and manage the hardware and software development from the product inception phase through the development and maintenance phase. Inception here means the requirement phase of the software. So CMMI help us in every phase of the software development. Now CMMI ISO TL 9000 is still required. So these are two different standards. These are still required for the software development. But the CMMI interfaces well with them. That means that both CMMI and TL are complementary. So TL is the telecommunication standards, which is also very much important because most of the hardwares has to communicate with the softwares and also with the other hardwares. That's why TL 9000 standards is also required. So both are necessary, and but these both addresses different aspects of the software development. Now ISO TL 9000 is a process compliance standards, but CMMI is the process improvement model. So that's why the standard and models both work together to improve the quality. Now, for example, increasing personal accountability and tighter links between the product management and development and the software change notice STN. So these models, that is the CMMI and ISO TL 9000, they both increase the personal accountability. Personal accountability means that the person who is responsible for the development of high quality software. So here they focus on the people, and similarly it also ties the links between the product management and development and software's change notice. That means that these three different areas are linked together to produce the high quality softwares. Now, a lot of investment is required to adopt the CMMI, but if properly managed, we will requires more efficient and productive while turning out the products with a consistently higher quality. So that's why the CMMI and ISO TL 9000 awards help us to achieve the high quality standards. Now, CMMI models within the frameworks. Basically, the model means that software engineering or system engineering, software engineering plus software engineering, integrated products and process development, that is integrated process and process development IPPD. So these are different terms used for the models. Similarly, system engineering, software engineering, integrated product and process development plus supplier sources, all these works for the CMMI. Similarly, software engineering only also works for the CMMI. And these all are the parts of the model, and also these are the part of the CMMI. And another representation of the CMMI model within the framework is the stage. Stage means there are different stages in the CMMI. Also, there are continuous. Continuous means that they are adopted and performed in the loop, and they are continuously improved. So CMMI definition of the system engineering is that the interdisciplinary approach governing the total technical and managerial effort required to transform a set of customer needs, expectation and constraints into the product solution and to support the solution throughout the product's life. So this includes both the hardware and software supports. So CMMI works for both hardwares, and they provides us good technical and managerial efforts which help us to transform the set of the customer's requirements, expectation and constraints to a certain products, which gives us the solution about the daily life product. So all the phases of CMMI are applied for the quality. This is the representation of the CMMI. They have the 5 different levels. First one is called the initial levels. The initial levels means that this is a very much immature and initial levels which is where the processes are unpredictable and they are poorly controlled and reactive. So reactive means that when certain problem arises, then they show the reaction. Otherwise, these are static processes and they are unpredictable. Unpredictable means that we cannot predict that whether the software's development is successful or whether it will be failed. So unpredictable means that maybe the project maybe goes into losses and there will be catastrophic situation. And also the processes are poorly controlled. That means that they are not managed properly and controlled very much poorly. And also these are the reactive. Reactive means that then when the problem arises, then they shows the reaction, but they do not cope with the solution of the problem initially. The second level is called manage. Manage means that here the project manager works for the planning, documentation, performed monitoring and controlling the all levels of the software process improvement. And these are often also reactive. So planned means that the processes are fully planned and they are well documented and also performed. And also the processes are monitored and controlled at the project level. And these are often the reactive. The next level is called defined, which is the level 3. In the defined levels, processes are well characterized and understood. So well characterized means they are properly characterized and categories are created. And also the processes are understood by each and every person that are working for the software development. And processes, standards, procedure, tools, etc. are defined at the organizational levels, which is the level X. So level X is the medium level, means that at this level, we cannot say that the organization has the high quality or very much low quality, but they have the medium quality. And this here, the organizations are proactive for the different sort of the risks that may occur during the software project. Proactive means that they have already solutions and all the problems are well controlled, and the processes are predictable and they are well controlled. So this level is very much important, and basically it works for the definition of the processes. And the fourth level is the quantitatively managed. Here quantitatively managed means that all the processes are managed using different matrices. Matrices are the measurement techniques where each and every phase is properly measured and analyzed. So here the quantitatively are the numerical information are processed, and processes are controlled using different statistical and quantitative techniques. So for example, function point matrix, similarly different matrices for the maintenance. All these matrices are analyzed and they are well calculated. Last level is called optimizing. In optimizing, the software is properly optimized and the processes are optimized for their best performance and quality. So here, process performance continuously improved through incremental and innovative technological improvements. That means that here the technology is properly adopted for the software development. For example, CAD case tools technologies are adopted where the computer-aided software engineering technologies helps the software developers to develop high-quality products. Now, as we see that there are 5 different levels in the CMMI. The first one is called initial. Already we have talked about that the process is unpredictable and poorly controlled and reactive. But at this level, the organization works on firefighting. Firefighting means that when the fire occurs, then they will try to fight against the fire. So they means that they have no certain advanced methodology or mechanisms that prevent the fire. The second one is the manage. Here the heroic peoples work for the management of the process and also works for the management of the full project. And the next level is the defined. Here different people uses defined processes which helps to develop the software. And next one is quantitative management. Here the teams and interdependencies are results. So here the teamwork helps us to quantitatively manage the process. And the last one is optimized. Here using different technologies, the fire prevention methodologies is adopted. Means that we will prevent the fire, not to perform the firefighting. The next standard is ISO 9000. In ISO 9000, we have quality management standards which is defined by international standard organization, and there is certain core principle that is offered by ISO 9000. The first principle is this one, that the organization must have to focus on their customers, and the customer is the key person which gives us a good feedback, and all the project success depends on the customer's feedback, that how the customer cooperate with us, and also the needs of the customers should be focused here. The next one is that the organization must have to focus on the leaderships and the leaders and also to create certain an environment where the people become involved in fulfilling the organizational objectives. So leader must have to ensure certain environment which should be very much user friendly and also cooperative. The next focus is on the people and levels important to the organization, and all levels which are important to the organization. And also the ISO 9000 focus on the activities and resources are bestly managed and as a process. So all the activities and resources in ISO 9000 should be managed properly. And also organizations have interrelated processes which must be understood and managed as a system. So all the processes are managed here in ISO 9000. Similarly, organization have to continually improve its performance and decisions should be well informed and based on real data and information. Organization and suppliers are mutually beneficial relationship. That means that the suppliers who supply the software to the end user and the organization that which develops the softwares, they have the mutual benefits and they have the good relations with each other. So ISO 9000 is a growing standards and day by day the certification of ISO 9000 is increasing. So it, any sort of the sectors such as the development sectors, ISO 9000 is working. ISO is an auditable system. That means that audit is very much important and the key in ISO 9000. So that means that audits are the accountability of each and every aspect of the software development should be performed. ISO 9000 is predominant QMS, quality management system, and today is that QMS and ISO 9000 is adopted by 149 countries and economies. That is up to 2004. So ISO 9000 is increasing very much vastly. Now, similarly to the CMMI, ISO also focuses on the customers. Similarly, the leadership, all involved people also focusing on the process approach. That means that good quality standard process should be used for the development of the product. Similarly, ISO is working for the management of the software process. So in the ISO, system approaches to management means that all the set of the management is performed for interrelated processes and the continual improvements. That means that the processes are improved continuously. So whenever certain problem arises, then the ISO works to eliminate or resolve that particular problem and continuously improvement is adopted. Factual approach to decision making. So decision making is a very much important in ISO 9000, 2000 and other standards of ISO such as ANSI 2000 A standard. So all the factuals are the statistical informations is presented and based on that statistical and quantitative informations the decisions are made. Next is the mutual benefits between the suppliers relations. The relation between the producer and supplier, that means that the person who developed the softwares or the organization which developed the softwares and another organization which supplies the software to the end user, their mutual benefits is considered here. Now, the ISO is rapidly growing. So currently 1 million ISO certifications is adopted or provided. And top 10 countries which are very much developed countries of the world, they have the registration for the ISO 9000, including China, which has the high proportions such as approximately 27% companies are certified from the China. Similarly, Italy, UK, Japan, Spain, and in the US there is 9% companies which are certified through the ISO. Similarly, Germany, Australia, France, and South Korea as well. And ISO is rapidly increasing. For example, we have ISO 9000 certification which started from September 93 and ISO 9001-2000 certification which is for the software development organization and that is started from the December 2001. And within 3 years, you can see that ISO 9001-2000 certification has achieved a high proportion for the certifications. So that bar shows that ISO 9001-2000 is increasing rapidly and similarly ISO 9000 as well. Now, dear students, this is the end of the lecture about the CMMI and ISO 9000 standard for software quality engineering. If you want to read more, you should read these two books, that is the CMMI Improving Software and System Development Process using Capability Maturity Model for the Integration, CMMI Build. Similarly, another book is about the ISO 27001 standards, that is Secure and Simple, a small business guide to implementing ISO 27001 standards. So you should read this book, and also if you have any question you can ask that question through the email. My email is m.kadeem@kust.edu.pk and I will wait for your questions. Thank you very much.